Admiral Zexathara of the Valdorian hegemony stared at the tactical display with 3 of her 4 eyes, the 4th monitoring crew efficiency ratings. Earth hung before them like a blue-white marble, deceptively peaceful. The primitive world had refused the hegemony's generous offer of subjugation, a mistake that would be corrected within the solar cycle. "Admiral," reported Navigation Officer Krill, his mandibles clicking nervously, "the human defense fleet is approaching. 37 vessels." Zexthara's equivalent of laughter rumbled through her thorax. 37 ships against her armada of 300. The hegemony had conquered 14 star systems with less firepower than what surrounded Earth today. These humans clearly didn't understand the mathematics of warfare. "Open a channel to the human fleet," she commanded. The main screen flickered, revealing a weathered human face. Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force looked directly at Zexthara, with unsettling brown eyes that seemed to pierce through the viewscreen. "I am Admiral Zexthara of the Valdorian hegemony. You are outnumbered 8 to 1. Surrender now, and your species will be granted the honor of serving the hegemony. Resist and face extinction." Chen's response was a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Admiral, I appreciate the offer, but we'll have to pass. You see, humans have this peculiar habit. We tend to get more dangerous when cornered." The transmission ended. Zexathara shook her head, a gesture she'd learned from studying human behavior. Such bravado in the face of certain defeat. It was almost admirable, if tragically futile. "All ships, attack formation Gamma 7. Let us end this quickly." The hegemony fleet moved like a coordinated predator, energy weapons charging, missile tubes loading. Zexathara expected the human ships to scatter, to run for the outer system's asteroid fields. Instead, they advanced directly toward the alien armada. Commander Yixil, the fleet's tactical analyst, studied his readings with growing confusion. "Admiral, the human vessels, their energy signatures are anomalous. These readings suggest weapons far beyond what our intelligence indicated." "Impossible," Zexathara replied. "They barely achieved faster-than-light travel 50 years ago." The first exchange of fire answered her doubts with brutal clarity. Human plasma lances, impossibly focused and powerful, carved through hegemony shields like they were gossamer. Kinetic projectiles, crude by galactic standards, punched through armor plating that had withstood the energy weapons of a dozen conquered species. But it wasn't just their weapons that defied expectation. It was how they fought. Captain Maria Santos piloted the destroyer Indomitable through a formation of 6 hegemony cruisers, her ship taking punishment that should have vaporized it. Somehow, impossibly, her engines kept firing, her weapons kept shooting. When her primary guns were destroyed, she switched to secondaries. When those failed, she used the ship's industrial fabricators, devices meant for repairs, to launch improvised missiles. Across the battlefield, similar scenes played out. The corvette Defiance rammed a hegemony battleship after its weapons were disabled, the human crew ejecting at the last second, only to be picked up by a passing friendly vessel and transferred to another ship to continue fighting. The cruiser Resilience continued engaging targets even after losing its entire port side, the crew literally welding hull plates over the breaches while still manning their battle stations. "How are they still fighting?" Krill whispered, watching his tactical display with something approaching horror. "The Resilience should be a debris field. The Indomitable has taken enough damage to destroy 3 ships its size." Zexathara watched a human fighter pilot eject from his destroyed craft, then somehow use his suit's emergency thrusters to ram into the bridge of a hegemony frigate. The small impact shouldn't have been significant, but the explosive charge the pilot had armed turned the frigate's command center into scrap metal. "They're not following standard engagement protocols," she realized. "They're not preserving their ships for retreat. They're fighting like they have nowhere to run," completed Yixil. The human admiral's words echoed in Zexthara's mind. "We tend to get more dangerous when cornered." The hegemony fleet, despite overwhelming numerical superiority, found itself being systematically dismantled. Every human ship they destroyed seemed to take 2 or 3 aliens with it. The humans adapted their tactics in real time, learning from each engagement, sharing information across their network faster than the hegemony's computers could process. When the human ship Perseverance was crippled and boarded, Zexathara expected a swift surrender. Instead, her boarding parties encountered something unprecedented. A crew that fought for every corridor, every room, every inch of their vessel. They used maintenance tunnels as ambush points, turned their own ship systems against the invaders, and when ammunition ran low, fought with improvised weapons and bare hands. The final blow came from an unexpected source. The human science vessel Discovery, not even a military ship, had been analyzing hegemony technology throughout the battle. Suddenly, every human weapon began targeting specific points on alien vessels with surgical precision. Weak points in armor, critical system junctions, command structure vulnerabilities that no species had ever identified before. "Admiral," Yixiel's voice was barely a whisper, "we've lost 60% of our fleet. The humans, they're still at 70% combat effectiveness." Zexithera stared at the tactical display in disbelief. By every military doctrine she knew, the human fleet should have been annihilated in the first 10 minutes of engagement. Instead, they had somehow turned an impossible situation into a victory. Admiral Chen's image appeared on the screen again, her uniform torn and bloodied, but her eyes still holding that unsettling intensity. "Admiral Zexithera, I believe you wanted to discuss terms." For the first time in her military career, Zexithera found herself requesting a ceasefire from a numerically inferior force. As her remaining ships limped away from Earth's solar system, she transmitted a priority message to Hegemony Command. Classification of Sol 3 updated to extreme threat level. Recommend immediate reclassification from primitive world to apex predator species. Do not engage without overwhelming force superiority. The message concluded with a personal note that would become legend among alien military circles. The humans don't just fight to win, they fight to survive. And a species that has survived this long on a death world doesn't know how to quit. Behind them, Earth continued its slow rotation, its blue oceans reflecting starlight like the eyes of a predator that had just proven it was far from defenseless. The humans had won more than a battle that day. They had announced their arrival on the galactic stage as a force that would reshape the very concept of warfare itself.